So if you're watching this is a new video series that we're starting in an effort to answer in video form a lot of the common questions we get at the law practice. And doing personal injury like we do pretty much all the time, we see the same kinds of questions pop up. And I know when someone goes through an injury or a death, they have questions and they don't necessarily want to talk to an attorney. They want to know what they're dealing with first. So we're doing this to help you, and I hope that it is helpful. We're going to do a series of these. We're going to put them on YouTube if you'd like to share them. We're going to put them on our Facebook page. We're going to put them on our website. And you can feel free to share those. If you have any questions after viewing this, please call us and we'll answer the best we can. These are complicated subjects, and I'm going to try to simplify them the best I can for you. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is what I would call the most important kind of car insurance coverage that you can have. It is called uninsured / underinsured motorist coverage. Attorneys call it UM or UIM as an acronym, as a shorthand. So you may hear it called that. But a lot of people, they come to me and they say, Ryan, I have full coverage. I hear that a lot. I got full coverage. Well, that doesn't mean a whole lot. Full coverage legally means that you're legal to drive on the road. So what does that mean in the state of Kentucky? In the state of Kentucky, that means that you have to carry at least $25,000 per person in injury liability, $50,000 for the entire occurrence if multiple people are involved. And I can tell you in the medical expenses that we see these days and the soaring healthcare costs, $25,000 is practically nothing in a serious injury. So what that means is if you have full coverage, if you are legal and you can buy more coverage, you are probably being foolish, is my personal opinion for a variety of reasons. Number one, in terms of preventable death, car accidents are right at the top. Accidental death, I think drug overdoses just took the number one spot over highway-related injuries. That's, I guess, the subject of another very disturbing conversation we can have that's not really appropriate for here. But point being, you can do everything within your power, and the odds are that you may still be injured or killed on the highways due to no fault of your own. So the point is, you need to be talking to your insurance agent and you need to be reviewing your insurance policy. We can do that for you if you'd like us to take a look at that. Well, we don't charge for that. You're going to want to look at your declarations. That's essentially a menu of the coverages that you've purchased. And it will have limits on there. For example, $25,000 per person. So how does that tie into underinsured coverage? I haven't even talked about that yet. You can only buy as much and underinsured coverage as you have in liability coverage. So you're going to have to pay more money if you want the coverage that I'm talking about. And here's why I think you should have it. If you get out on the road and you're hurt by someone who is carrying, let's say, the minimum limits, which statistically is most likely. Let's say you're seriously injured and the person that hits you has $25,000. Let's say that you're in the hospital for a month at UC and your medical bills are $250,000, which is probably going to be on par with a 1-month hospital stay. The most you can ever get out of this person who negligently hurt you or grossly negligently hurt you, let's say they were a drunk driver, that's very common, is $25,000. And again, people come to me and they say, well, we'll just go after them personally. We'll just sue them personally. Well, I'm here to tell you that most people have nothing. That's just the bitter reality. They have no assets. They have no liquid anything to collect from. So the way the insurance company will operate is they will say, here's $25,000, and we want you to release our insured from any further liability. And unless you're willing to make that exchange, you will not get that $25,000 in cash, leaving you the alternative of suing this person personally, getting a judgment against them, spending thousands of dollars in collection actions, and ultimately seeing nothing from it. Which is why, in my practice, I can only count maybe one time we've ever obtained any type of personal settlement from someone outside of an insurance policy. Just doesn't happen. You can look up the stats of the people. There was a story a few months ago that maybe half of all Americans have less than $1,000 in their bank account, and that's on par with what we see. So what is the point? The point is you have to buy uninsured and underinsured coverage to protect yourself. So in that scenario, if you had bought $100,000 in underinsured motorist coverage, the way that works is after you've collected the $25,000 in liability coverage from the person that hit you and put you in the hospital, you would then have the option of turning to your own insurance company and making essentially an excess insurance claim for the other $100,000. And you can certainly buy more than $100,000. You can probably buy up to $1 million if you wanted to. Personally, me and my family, we carry as much as we can afford. I've seen too many horror stories, and I don't want to fall into that trap. And I've met with a lot of people who have come out of that 1-month hospital stay, and they thought it'd be a good idea to save on car insurance. So I looked at their deck page that shows all those coverages. We know the person that hit them has $25,000, but we know this person has $250,000 in medical bills, and guess what? There's nothing I can do to help that person. If they don't have a good health insurance plan, if they don't have a good short-term disability plan at work, they may end up in bankruptcy. So that is why I call this the most important kind of coverage. To reiterate, it is called uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. Underinsured assumes that the person that hit you on the highway does not have enough insurance to pay for your damage. Therefore, you have an additional claim to make, up to however much you've purchased. Uninsured sounds just like it is. Very common in drunk driver cases. Drunk drivers, believe it or not, they're not big on carrying insurance. In those situations, you have no insurance at all, and you most certainly have no assets to collect from this person who, again, is likely living on the fringes of society. So if you do not have the uninsured coverage, you have no recovery at all. I can't emphasize this enough. I would encourage you to talk to your agents about it. Call us if you have more questions, but it is crucial, and it's something that the insurance companies don't really tell their insureds about. They don't really explain the importance of it. I have my own theories on that, but it is crucial.